Hi, and a warm welcome, first of all, to another of Quirk's Watch Your Drinking. Today, I am very fortunate to be joined by two wonderful people. We have Sia Najumi, who is the Market Research Account Director for One Global Solutions, and we have Theo Francis, who is the founder and director of Guinea Pig Fieldwork. And between them, they are both co-founders of Colour of Research, which launched back in March in 2020. So without further ado, what you drinking, guys?
Hey, Sia, what are you drinking first?
I'm drinking green matcha tea because I haven't eaten anything all day, so I'm sticking to a sensible drink.
Very sensible and very healthy, Sia. That's what I like to see. I've got a feeling that Theo might not be drinking green tea. What you got?
I also haven't eaten all day, but I'm not as sensible as Sia, so I'm drinking some nice California red. This is Malbec, barefoot, hints of blackberry and currant and vanilla with a smooth finish.
Love it. Well, I've got steak tonight, so I think I might be drinking a little bit of red later. But at the moment, I am drinking some local gin. For those people who know me, I am very much a G&T person. So Ditchling Gin, literally, it's only about 5 or 6 miles down the road from me. It's a great gin. So without further ado, welcome, and let's have a fun watch your drinking. So
Cheers.
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 So first question, and this is to both of you. Obviously, Colour of Research. I hear that Quirk's played a small role in the Colour of Research coming together. Tell us how it all began and what you wanted to achieve by creating this group.
Yeah, I guess Quirk's did play a small role. Quirk's was the place where Bob pulled me to the side and said, "Hey, I saw this group that you invited me to on LinkedIn. This is amazing. Let's take over the world. Let's do something and build something really serious." And it sort of spurred on the vision of putting together a team. Basically, the way it all came about was very organic. You know, we'd all been having similar experiences and similar discussions with other colleagues in the industry about the lack of representation. You know, we'd go to events, we'd go to conferences, we'd go to award ceremonies, look around, not see anyone and who looks like us and say, you know, that's odd, what's going on here? So really, it was just a union of minds thinking that this is something that's important that needs to happen, and you know, deciding that we were gonna build it for ourselves. So as you say, had Bob and I not been at Quirk's and he'd not bumped into me whilst going around all of the different stands, it may not have played out the way it did.
Yeah. So this is Bob Qureshi. This took place at Quirk's London. Who else came together? Who were the key people? Obviously yourself and Sia, but who else?
Bob Qureshi of iView, Graham Idahin of Lucid, Charlene Adama of Belendi, Tatenda Masasengwa of YouthSite, Natalie Samuel of Ipsos, Melissa Gonzalez of Differentology, and have I missed anyone else out? It's just us as the rest, isn't it, Sia?
Yeah, that was it, really. Yeah.
Not so no, that's a great board that you've got going there, and obviously lots
dream team.
Yeah, lots of experience in the industry across all different sectors as well. So no, that's really important. So obviously, I mentioned at the beginning, Colour of Research started up in March, kind of Quirk's London, and moved on. What have you been able to achieve in the kind of the 8 months of lockdown that we've experienced? What have you been, or what's been a success for you guys?
So I think I would say the first and the biggest success that we've established is opening the doors for people to have the discussion more openly and with each other. Like when we were going to events and stuff, people talk about it. You know, people from ethnic backgrounds, you know, acknowledge that there isn't that representation, but we don't have organizations, we don't have people in leadership talking about it. So I think firstly, what we established is, you know, a way of talking about it, letting people know that there's, you know, core that who you know, there's core and we're an association and we want to make this conversation happen. And I think that's, you know, the first success, I would say. But I think you can touch upon the other initiatives that we've established.
No, I think you've hit the nail on the head there, though. In terms of the most important thing that we've done so far is actually raising the volume of this conversation, because it's an issue that's been going on for, I won't say decades, I'll say hundreds of years, but you know, it's taken till 2020 for anything to really be put in place to try and address it. But in terms of like tangible things that we've put in place, so okay, the mentorship program, that was our initial initiative. The idea behind that being, you know, we do have some success stories in the industry. People like Bob Qureshi, for example, who have, you know, blown up and become a massive success, but they've had to do that on their own and without the guidance of people who have been in those shoes and, you know, can help support them when they're facing certain issues that are race-related issues. What can we put in place to try and make it easier for the next generation so that we can, you know, pass the torch on in an easier way? And right now we've got, I believe at present is 20 partnerships, so 20 mentees with 20 mentors in the UK right now happening. So that's quite a big achievement, but obviously we want to move that forward. We're hoping for next year to you know, double, triple, quadruple that number. Masterclasses is a area of the website where allies can lend their support. You know, as I said, the mentorship program is for us, by us, is each one teach one. It's about that shared experience. However, for our allies who actually want to also contribute to the upskilling of these mentees, we've got a separate section for them to record, as I say, masterclasses. And we had Lynn Rosamond do a public speaking masterclass, which was awesome, mind-blowing. The amount, it just took my breath away. The amount of different tactics and different strategies that you can use to really maximize what it is that you're trying to say and say it in a meaningful way. That was beautiful. So we've put in place a Fresh Faces initiative that's still in progress, but we're in talks with a few different recruitment partners who specialize in ethnic minority recruitment, so that we can then offer that as a service to bring in more people into the industry, as well as talking at different universities and schools. We did our round table 2 weeks ago. We did our first round table, which was amazing as well. We had some industry thought leaders in there talking about unpicking recruitment practices and what we can do as an industry to make the industry more attractive to ethnic talent. And one of the biggest things that's funny is, you know, everyone's always asking, where do you find the talent? Where can we find the talent? The real insight from that was, it's not about where you find the talent. It's about how you're presenting yourself as a company. How are you showing up? When this talent is looking for work, when they look at your company, do they see a place that they actually want to go? You know, there's a big change in perspective there. That's just a few. I can really go on. We're up to about 12 different initiatives right now that are all ticking over. And we're right now looking at expanding the team, because the 8 of us, we're doing good, but you know, it's growing and growing, so we need some more hands on deck.
We definitely need more people. But I would just like to say that, you know, with all these initiatives, like it wouldn't have been possible without our allies. We have a lot of support, and there's like everyone, like a lot of organizations every day reaching out saying, you know, we want to help, how can we help? And so, you know, without our allies too, we wouldn't have been able to do all of this that we've achieved.
Wow. And it's only 8-9 months. That's the scary thing.
It doesn't feel like it.
You've done so much. You've done so much. And I think I think the next question is kind of, what have you got in store? What have you got planned for 2021? What's the kind of key objectives and goals that you've got to take this initiative forward and to move it forward? What's the overall plan?
Well, okay, so obviously the mentorship program I mentioned earlier, we want to double, triple, quadruple that. We want every person who's working in the market research industry who's from an ethnic background to have someone who they can turn to for support. By the end of next year, we really want to have all of these initiatives, traction on all of them, so that we can start branching out to different countries. The USA is I think the place in the world that probably needs something like this the most. So that would be our next point of call. But we said from the very beginning that we didn't want to start branching out until we've got our own house in order first. And so the next year is about not just expansion, but also refining everything that we're doing, seeing what's working, making sure that we're doing it right, seeing what's not working, and maybe eliminating that, getting the working model in the UK so that we can then branch out and help our cousins overseas.
Obviously, hopefully Quirks will be able to help deliver some audience from a US perspective, because that's where Quirks is based and a large percentage of our audience is. So I'm sure there's people who are going to be watching this who are going to be interested. From that perspective, how can companies and individuals get involved and support the Colour of Research program? What can they be doing?
So we have a website. Colorofresearch.org. You'll find all the initiatives on there, and there's a contact page where you can get in touch. We also have forms for allies who want to get involved, for mentors and mentees, and then we also have our socials on LinkedIn, where we have over 1,000 followers now since we've started, and we also have a page. So we're really active on all of those, and we try and get content every day, and we're building a resource page as well on our website. So we have videos, we have articles, we have everything covering diversity and inclusion. So if organizations want to read more about us or just how to approach D&I in general, there's a lot of content on there. So follow us, please.
Let me just add to that as well, though, because in terms of how companies can work with us as well, one of the key initiatives for us is the strategic partnerships that we're building up. So basically, research agencies who want to pro bono some work to actually put some data behind the arguments, reaching out to people in the industry. The MRS just did a really, really great piece recently. I don't know if you saw it. It's on diversity and inclusion overall. Some really interesting findings came out of that. But from looking at that, what we want to do is dive even deeper into each of these points that were brought up, and further than that, continue to do more and more research so that we can see why is this situation the way it is, and what can we actually do to change it. So partnerships with companies, sponsorships, and then on the individual level as well, as I mentioned, we're trying to grow as soon as possible. We've got so many different roles that we need support with. So if individuals want to come in on a volunteer basis, evenings and weekends, help us take on some of this, please do get in touch. And any masters out there, any specialists with some specialist skills that you can come and contribute to the upskilling of the mentees as well, get in touch with us. We'll record a masterclass, and that's a real tangible way that people can contribute.
Brilliant. Theo, Sia, also, I've noticed the attire as well. What are you guys wearing? Have we all got Christmas jumpers on? So I've got loving it. Oh, so the polar bears. What you got there, Theo? Drink and be merry. Eat, drink and be merry. Oh, brilliant. Well,
3 things I know how to do.
Yeah, exactly. Guys, thank you so much. Obviously, you're doing such a great job at the moment with Colour of Research. Long may we hope it continue. Thank you so much for your time and effort today. Have a fantastic Christmas when it comes around. Can't wait to see you in person. Hopefully, that will be at some stage in 2021. But thanks very much for all you're doing, and best of luck.
Appreciate the support, Stuart. You have a great evening. Thank you.
Okay, take care.